Hi, good evening, everyone. Are we recording? We are. Great. Welcome. I am one of your co-hosts this evening, Robin Blank Mascari, and welcome to our Tuesday evening introduction to LifeWave. The special star of the show is called X39, which you're going to learn about in a few minutes. I'm hosting this with Gregory. He's going to do a short presentation in just a moment. And then we're going to bring on our special guest, Dr. Stuart Freenfeld, this evening, and he's going to share a little bit from his perspective. And then it's your turn. If you have questions, if you have stories to share, please put them in the Q&A section. And remember that we don't mention any dis-ease states, so you mention just symptoms, and we'd love to hear from you. So let's get things going, and I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Gregory.
Well, thanks, Robin. Good evening, everyone. And it's always fun to see many new people and some reoccurring friends on our webinar. Every Tuesday evening, we do this webinar to kind of give an overview of LifeWave and X39. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So please hold on just a moment. And we're going to talk about activating your stem cells. And before we get started, I just wanted to share with you kind of a realization I came to a number of years ago. Maybe many of you can relate to this. I finally figured out what I want to be when I get older, younger. Okay. I'm going to be 70 years old here in a couple of months. And, I'm all about turning back my biological clock. And with that in mind, I'd like to ask you a personal question and, just contemplate, if anything were possible, what is one thing you'd choose to experience differently in your health or in the health of someone that you love and care for? What's one thing that could be better? And maybe there's a big list, but maybe there's one thing that would make a qualitative difference in your life, and maybe a quantitative too. But what difference would that make for you or them, someone you love? So with that in mind, we're going to move forward into our presentation, but I do want to make a note that our products are not designed or intended to heal, treat, diagnose any disease. They do, however, help our bodies get back into a very healthy regenerative mode, and many times wonderful things start to happen. So let's talk about the stem cell revolution, because we believe everyone wants to look, feel, perform, and live younger, and stem cells are the key because they're a vital part of our immune system that helps to repair and regenerate damaged cells in all of our muscles, bones, organs, glands, everywhere throughout our body. And the problem is, the older we get, the less stem cells we have, the less active they are. And by age 60, only a small percentage remain. And sadly, the fewer we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. And neither of those sound very cool to me. So what about stem cell injections? Because they become quite popular, but you know what? They're quite expensive too. They can be painful, risky, controversial. And you know what? You could spend thousands or tens of thousands of dollars with no guaranteed results. Well, we've got some good news for you here tonight. You can look, feel, perform, and live younger with our historic breakthrough in stem cell activation. It's a new wearable technology in patch form. It's an affordable, safe, and non-invasive, drug-free technology, a patented form of phototherapy that we're going to dig into in just a couple of minutes here, which uses very specific frequencies of light to increase and improve stem cell activity. And this is the brainchild of David Schmidt, who's our visionary founder and CEO. And David is also a brilliant scientist and researcher and a genius inventor with over 130 patents and patent pendings. And David has been on the leading edge of phototherapy research and science for over 20 years, and he's already conducted over 80 clinical studies proving the efficacy of LifeWave phototherapy technologies, and many more studies are always in the works. It's a very science-based company. And let's talk a little bit about LifeWave as a company. It's a 17-year-old advanced technology company focused in health sciences. It was founded back in 2004 based on an energy-enhancing technology David developed under a U.S. government contract for Navy SEALs to increase their strength, stamina, performance without the use of drugs, stimulants, or caffeine. And it turned out to be so effective, it's now used by world-class athletes around the world in almost every sport. Right now, we have corporate headquarters and laboratory and manufacturing throughout California, Utah, and Ireland. And we have global distribution over 75 countries from our 15 global distribution centers. Now, the word is getting out, and LifeWave patches are now being used by pro and amateur athletes all around the world in almost every sport. The media has begun to notice, and you know what? You might too, if you look carefully on the bodies of some of your favorite athletes, you might see these auspicious little white patches, and that's LifeWave. That's our phototherapy technology. So how does this amazing technology work? Well, it's based on a type of light therapy called photobiomodulation. And LifeWave patches contain very specific combinations of organic materials and nanocrystals. And when they're applied or near the body, they're activated by our body heat, and they then begin to emit very specific wavelengths of light, which stimulate targeted and beneficial biochemical responses in the body. This is known as photobiomodulation, and it is the basis for our LifeWave phototherapy patches. Now, it's been a well-recognized and proven scientific principle that specific frequencies of light can cause very specific changes within the body. For example, when we go out in the sun, a specific frequency of light causes our body to make vitamin D. We're not getting a vitamin D download from the sun, but our body is getting triggered by that light frequency to manufacture vitamin D. Another frequency of light, for example, causes our body to make melanin, the chemical that gives us a suntan. And what LifeWave's patented technology is based on this same rock solid, well-recognized scientific principle. So for the last 14 years, our focus has been in the field of anti-aging and regenerative science. And a little over 3 years ago, we released to the global market the LifeWave X39 stem cell activation patch, which truly is a historic and affordable breakthrough in stem cell activation. Some are calling it the holy grail of anti-aging restorative science, and because we're actually doing what the multi-billion-dollar companies and big pharma have not been able to do. And LifeWave X39 actually activates a very specific copper peptide that activates our body's own stem cells, and at the same time altering gene expression to over 4,000 genes towards a younger and more vibrant you. So this is very exciting information. It's a true game changer and a true breakthrough. And David, our founder and CEO and inventor, says this is my greatest achievement yet, with emphasis on yet, because he spends more time in the laboratory than in an office. So yes, we have patents. Yes, we have clinical studies. And yes, we have field results proving that X39 is actually turning back our biological clock, helping people to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And for us baby boomers, this is very exciting news. And with that, Robin, I'm going to turn it back over to you and our special guest doctor tonight.
Thank you, Gregory. And when you were talking, I was just kind of thinking these patches that look like a Band-Aid and the size of a quarter are magic. And it's so wonderful. I mean, I don't ever tire of learning and listening, and what a gift we have to share with people. So thank you so much for that. As always, okay, it's my pleasure to introduce our doctor this evening, and he's an MD from New Jersey, and he started out in family practice and went on to become a clinical instructor at Rutgers Medical School. And then something very interesting happened in 1988. And I need to find out what inspired this, but he expanded his knowledge base, and he became a student to the degree of hundreds of hours of studying and all kinds of alternative modalities to what he was trained in. So it was homeopathy, it was nutrition, it was herbal medicine, all IV drips, all kinds of wonderful things. And then he became, an international lecturer, and he's become known as an expert in this integrative perspective of really offering what is best for people, using the best of Western medicine and the best of natural medicine together. And I just know him as my favorite soccer player out there on the field, challenging the young ones and showing up. So Dr. Stuart, I know you just got off the field. Where are you? There he is. He's wearing a soccer shirt.
I am literally just off the field.
How old were the players today?
This is a league required to be over 48.
Yeah, my goodness. Okay.
These are the older kids.
The older kids. And I love it that they probably love. And will you brag to everyone, please, and tell them how young you are?
73 and 3/4.
Uh, I love it. He's like a little kid, 73 and 3/4. Well, it's so inspiring.
And I apologize. I literally got home. I
I
came a little early, but there was injuries and I couldn't get off the field. So,
I love it. I love it. No, it's perfect. It's perfect for you to be here like this because this is inspiring for people to see someone that is so active and living life so fully in 73 and 3/4. I love it. So let's kind of jump in a little bit. LifeWave, a new technology. What is it that got you really interested in taking a deeper look and starting to incorporate and use the patches in your own life?
A active curiosity, a open-minded skepticism, as I often say. It was recommended to me by a colleague, a doctor that I've known from the lecture circuit. She was very impressed with the patches and asked me to give it a try. And I was equally impressed, maybe more so. Even tonight, tonight I literally one of our best players pulled a groin muscle, a quadricep muscle rather, and had to come off the field. I peeled the patch off my back and stuck it on his leg, and he will be ordering patches this evening.
Isn't it wonderful? I carry a first aid kit with me at all times.
That's a good idea.
You just a little insulated pouch. It's a great thing because you never know when you're going to be exposed to someone that, if someone's hurt and you can relieve their pain quickly and help the healing accelerate. How wonderful is that? So what?
We were playing in 91-degree temperature tonight, so we would have needed the insulated patch.
Oh my gosh! Oh.
And by the way, I mean, I would in years past, in 90-degree temperature, anything over 85, I hated to play because felt like I couldn't breathe. I was oppressed. Running free tonight, and it's nice. Really felt good. I like that.
Isn't that interesting? So let's talk a little bit about stem cells because Gregory opened up the door, and I love that he knows what he wants to be when he grows up because I get to do that with him. We both get to get younger. So why is this such a breakthrough to have something that activates your own younger stem cells? Is there available any other way?
Well, you could get stem cell injections. Typically in this country would harvest them from fat cells, and you would get fat-derived stem cells, which are already the stem cells of a fat cell, and so it's not an undifferentiated cell. Or we can get bone marrow, and you'll get a mesenchymal stem cell. But with these patches, you're getting undifferentiated stem cells that have the potential to form perhaps every organ of the body. So they could be helpful throughout. It's like getting an embryonic stem cell from a fetus.
Oh, so we all started as one of those things, didn't we?
We did. We started as a stem cell.
And stem cells are kind of unique because you can be undifferentiated or differentiated, and like the ones you said from fat are already fat cells, but the other ones are undifferentiated, and that's the beauty of healing, isn't it? So, as Gregory talked about, when we're young, we have a lot, and then as we're older, we don't have so many. So aren't you thrilled that you have all these new stem cells, huh?
People always say that I don't want to get old, and that's silly. All of us want to get old. We want to. That's why we take supplements. Why we exercise. Why we do all these things to keep healthy. We don't want to get decrepit.
Right.
So if we could go through our life with the ability to regenerate tissue better, then we get to help hold on to our youthful vigor and enjoy our later years. So it's a great opportunity.
It's fabulous. So how do people get the maximum benefit out of utilizing this technology?
To utilize anything to get healthy, you need to make yourself healthy. We got to start with the basics. You got to breathe clean air. You got to eat healthy food. You don't want to eat poison foods that's been treated with pesticides and garbage. We want to drink, good, healthy water and adequate amounts of water. You want to exercise. You want to clear your mind of unnecessary negative thoughts and
Yeah.
grudges, and live in the moment and enjoy life. And then you can utilize other things to help you get healthy and stay healthy and be healthy. And that's where the patches are one of those great opportunities to just generate stem cells and, gosh, be healthier.
So how do you wear them? How long do you wear them? Anything else you need to do to maximize the benefit of using the patch?
So
And
right
by the way, thank you so much for always saying that, because I think we can't say that enough. We have to do our part. The patch
Yeah.
does amazing things, but we have to do our part, and making healthy choices in all those areas you mentioned are crucial.
You can't leave your body at the laundromat and have someone else do it for you.
Some people would like that.
That's what I'm wearing. I had an X39 on my C7 spine, which I peeled off and gave to my colleague with a quad injury. I have a X49 below my belly button, and I've got energy enhancers across my chest, and that is my game energy, along with a number of supplements that are important to me personally. And so that's what I do. My normal daily is X39, X49 now, because it just doubled my workout capacity, and I like that.
Doubled? Did it really double?
Yeah, it really did. And I work out hard.
Wow.
And not across the board, not in everything, but like a lower extremity apparatus that I would normally do, 3 sets of 20 reps with 250 pounds. I'm now doing 3 sets of 40 reps.
Oh my.
Things where I was doing a jog sprint on an elliptical for 30 minutes, and now I'm 45 to 60 minutes. I often quit because I'm just bored. So that's kind of cool.
Okay, so you wear your patches. How long do you wear them for?
12 to 15 hours.
Okay, and it doesn't have to be exact, but you do need to give your body a break, correct?
You do need to let the rubber band recoil.
Okay.
If you stretch the rubber band forever, it loses its spring. In the same way, our body has to have a chance of some downtime, just like we need some sleep. We need some downtime where you're not constantly stimulating.
Yes, we need to exhale once in a while.
Right.
Or yes. Okay, so you talked about hydration, wearing the patches, and I think something else that you do really well that a lot of people forget is called consistency. What do you think?
Did I say that?
You just live that way.
Yes.
How important is consistency in getting the maximum benefit?
Yeah, I don't think that it's vital. I think that there's times that I forget to put my patch on, and the next day I put it on. I'm never going to forget my patch on the day that I've got a game, because I need it, I think. But if I skip it, I don't think I lose it. If I skip it for a few days, I do feel like I've lost ground. I had some recent injuries that we'll just share. New Year's Eve around, I took a fall and injured my shoulder capsule, and just ignored it. I figured it would just heal and I don't have to do anything about it. After 3 months, I was still having trouble moving it, and so I started patching it, and within the first day I said, no, it can't be. It's a placebo effect. The second day I said, no, it's not a placebo effect. It's getting better. By the third day, I had full range of motion again. And the same thing with a neck injury that, like almost felt like when you caught in the draft and you get that stiff neck. Weeks go by and I'm ignoring it like male doctors do. And then I started, okay, so I do some patching. I put an Eon patch on overnight, and it was like 50% better by morning. The next night I put on Eon and glutathione, and it's been 100% since day 2.
So that you kind of
amazing.
jumped ahead to my next question. How long does it take for people to feel the benefits?
Most people, it takes longer than that. I am a super responder, and I like it, but I have to remember to tone down my ebullience because, most people require longer healing. And maybe that has to do with the health of their body, or maybe it's just my structural ability to respond to this kind of a phototherapy.
Okay, so it could vary from person to person.
Sure.
And what's beautiful is it's cumulative over time. It just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, that's becoming more and more apparent as the months, and I guess close to 2 years now.
I love it. Well, I'm going to share a story from one of our guests this evening, and from Sunshower Rose, and she's been wearing the patches for a while, and some amazing things happen. We're going to get to that in a minute. So, is there anyone who should not be using the patches?
People that you don't like.
That's the best answer I've heard. The soccer field gave you some giggles there. I love it. Okay. Anyone else?
There is a concern about people on immune suppressive therapy because part of stem cells stimulates the immune system, makes it healthier. And if we want to, if you're using a pharmaceutical approach that wants to depress your immune system, then this may have a negative impact.
Okay. Speaking of negative impacts, does anyone ever have a negative impact?
I haven't seen a long-term negative. Sometimes a couple people have told me that they felt worse initially, and it's like that process we see in a lot of holistic working with the body healing, that it goes through a healing phase where it kind of backs out the way the injury, way the dysfunction occurred and came on, it backs out the same way. So we start getting pain that we hadn't had as we work our way back to that healthier state. That's not common, but I've seen that a couple of times.
It's not, it doesn't happen to a lot of people, but Dr. Nicholas, I quote him all the time, he says, feeling is healing. And sometimes it doesn't feel good. It's temporary though. That's the important part. It's very temporary.
If you've got a nerve injury, as the nerve comes back, you'll start feeling things.
Right. So there's a whole nother thing. Well, let's get into some stories and questions because we have a bunch of them already lined up. And I'm going to start out with the story that I mentioned because it fits right into what you were saying. And this is from Sunshine Rose. And she said, since she was 4 years old, thanks to a dental procedure, my olfactory nerves were severely damaged. So I haven't been able to smell anything ever since. Until a week ago, when X39 kicked in for that condition. After 69 years, my olfactory sense is healthy. There's something to be said about consistency and persistence and faith that this patch is working on stuff we aren't even aware that it's doing things for us that we can't even calibrate consciously. Thank you, David Schmidt and Lifewave. Well, and I know that she's been on the patches for a while, so it is fun to see the cumulative effect. And oh, that's such a beautiful story, Sunshine Rose. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, question from Rose Bartos. Would there be any reason why someone should not wear X39 or 49 if they're taking 10 milligrams of prednisone daily?
No.
Okay, great. Love it. Okay, what patch approach would you recommend for long-standing bulging of an organ or tissue through an abnormal near the belly button, please? Abnormal opening near the belly button.
Abnormal opening near the belly button. So I would think this, we're talking about where the intestines are bulging through because of a weakness in the abdominal wall. I would think of using X39, X49, and carnosine.
Beautiful.
Carnosine has a beneficial effect for muscles.
Yeah. And damaged tissue. So beautiful. Beautiful. Beth would like to know, what do you recommend for swollen leg veins with pain and swelling?
Swollen leg veins, painful veins.
Yes.
So homeopathically, pulsatilla is often very helpful for that dull, achy, weepy feeling in your legs. To help with patch. That's an interesting question. I don't know where I would go with patches on that. I would certainly try X39 because X39 seems to be fundamental with everything. Certainly giving some leg support to, the veins empty because the muscles pump the veins. So if the vein is weak, as the muscle pumps, the vein just bulges. Wearing a compressive stocking allows that to empty the vein.
Okay.
So the stocking compressions are very, very helpful for that.
Great. Thank you. And Nicole wants to know, she needs better glucose management and more regular sleep. What do you recommend?
SP6 may be helpful for glucose management. There's a number of patches that are helpful with sleep. X39 can be helpful. There is the sleep. I'm blanking on the name.
Silent Night.
Silent Night. For me, the Alavita patch has been most helpful.
Yeah.
And typically you put the Alavita patch over here, but I find I actually put it on the pineal site, and that it gives me that benefit when I need it.
That's great. And David did do a wonderful talk, Nicole, on sleep, and you can find it in our training website, liveyoungersuccess.com, under the David Schmidt videos. He talked about the conditions to have healthy sleep and the 4 different patches that help with people's sleep. So, I typically ask people a lot of questions before I recommend which patch, because people have sleep challenges for different reasons. Could be stress, could be pain, could be too much, device exposure, could be all kinds of busy mind. Yeah.
The trouble falling asleep, staying asleep. Do you wake up in the middle of the night? Do you wake up 2 hours, fall asleep? Are you waking up too early in the morning and not going back to bed? Are you waking up to urinate?
Yes. So Carol would like to know, does the temperature of one's body vary enough from one part, cold feet, to another, warm hands, to change the decision on where to apply the patch? Interesting question.
Very interesting question. I don't, probably not. Unless if you're trying to apply them to those cold hands and feet that you could chill an alcoholic drink with. We all know those people that you wouldn't want them in your bed. Don't touch those things. But otherwise, the body temperatures, even if it's down to 95, that's not going to be a difference in how well the patches are activated.
Okay, great. Thank you. Marty wants to know, is the patch FDA approved?
You answered me that question. I don't know.
Okay. I will answer that one. FDA means federal drug, and the patch is not a drug, and FDA doesn't approve natural products. It's FDA registered, but not FDA approved. None of our products will ever be approved by the FDA. And I learned this a while ago, and you probably know this, Dr. Stewart, that every drug has a lethal dosage. Is that really true? Every FDA drug?
Well, the FDA requires certain things. So it requires an expiration date that may have no useful meaning. they do what's called LD50, lethal dose, for 50% of the
We
test.
don't need to go there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But there
Yes.
is no lethal dose of. You could put all 30 patches on your body, and you're not going to have any ill effects.
You will never hurt yourself. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, we're getting through stuff. We got a few more. Nancy Smith, recent comment from another doctor not familiar with LifeWave patches stated that stem cells also contribute to tumor growth. Is he speaking of stem cell injections, or would our own stem cells contribute as well?
There is a question of that. There's also been a question of growth hormone doing the same thing. My understanding is that the stem cells are going to stimulate the immune system and not the tumor. Tumors produce their own growth hormone, so they are locally stimulated and not from your systemic growth promoters.
Okay. And the thing to always remember, Nancy, is that nothing is going in the body other than a frequency of light, and our bodies will never hurt themselves. So that's a good thing to remember, I think. Let's see. Nicole, you're very busy, active here, and we like to give other people a chance. So Teresa, please remember to post your stories in Vibrant Living and Live Younger. Thank you, Teresa. When you have great stories like the one we just heard from Sunshine Rose, please put it in our Vibrant Living Facebook page, because you sharing your stories can change someone else's life, because it'll inspire someone else to share. So please remember to share. Jen wants to ask, what is the protocol for deposits formed in the kidneys?
I don't understand how to interpret that question.
Deposits in the kidneys, maybe they're they could be called stones. I don't know.
If there's a patch that has a beneficial effect on kidney stones, I'm not aware of it. Not one way or the other.
Okay. And X39 is good for everything, so I would work with that one for sure. Mary wants to know, what patches would you use for inflammation in the knee and legs?
So for inflammation, I think, in addition to X39, which seems to have a general beneficial effect, I think Eon is the most anti-inflammatory of the patches. And I have really come to like glutathione for longer term injuries. That combination seems to work really nicely.
Beautiful. And you can put it right on the spot. And yeah. Sunshine Rose has another story for us. She says, I know a woman who used X39. She's 79 years old with swollen, weeping legs. 3 weeks later, her legs reduced in size and she didn't need her walker anymore. I love it. And Coach Clarissa said, 51 days from now, I'll be 51. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank enough how LifeWave has helped me witness this beautiful life. Speaking of unlimited potential, our performance bundle X39 and 49 are doing great in my physique, helping me in my prep to my health and fitness competition. I don't get hungry. I have a lot of energy. Even if I'm fasting, I still could give my best at the gym. And Coach Clarissa's story is an amazing story that we need to have written up, because she didn't think she was going to make it to her 50th birthday. She was having severe seizures, and now she's an ultra athlete and in a fitness competition, as very exciting. So she's very grateful every single day. Thank you so much, Coach Clarissa. Does X39 have an expiration date? After a year, are they still usable?
As far as I'm concerned, these are crystals, and they should have a extremely long lifespan.
Great. Let's see. Barb is asking, what patch is best for dancing legs? And she has not had success with the energy enhancer.
What's a dancing leg?
You know how people You know, when they're sleeping and their legs jiggle around.
Oh,
That thing.
yes. Yeah, I would try carnosine. I would try Eon.
Great.
But on supplements, try magnesium and carnitine.
Mm-hmm. Great. Great. I love it that you know so much about nutrition.
So magnesium taurate has a specific beneficial effect.
Okay. And Francine would like to know, what would you recommend if there's an issue with the bladder muscle causing a bulging issue and leakage?
Yeah, I often wondered if we could get the patches to be applied on mucous membranes. I would like to try applying it. If this is bulging down into the vagina area, applying it on the vaginal wall to try and
Interesting.
ligaments.
Very interesting. And I've heard people getting a lot of relief from leakage with X39, just X39. So stay with it. And our final one for tonight, would the carnosine patch or other patches help an elderly woman's body to produce blood? She often needs transfusions.
I don't know about carnosine. X39 might well help with that.
Okay, great. Oh, there's one more. Let me sneak it in here. It's snuck in there. My mom is 83 and doesn't sleep well. Most nights she only sleeps an hour or so and then wakes up, stays awake for hours. She wears Eon on her arm because it's been hurting from a fall, Aloe Vita on her left temple, and carnosine on the mask for her eyes. During the day, she uses X39.
Yeah, so she could certainly try Silent Night, or try moving the Aloe Vita to the central brow between her eyebrows.
Yeah, great. And I would also find out if she's watching TV before bed or while she's in bed. Yeah.
All the sleep hygiene, calm down, turn the lights off.
Yeah, get your blue-black glasses if you're going to watch TV. Yeah, well, we got through a lot, and a wonderful group here tonight. Thank you. Oh, we're just a touch under 100, 2 people under 100, and thank you everyone for being with us tonight. Thank you, Dr. Stewart. I love it. You're fresh from the field and fit as can be, and an inspiration to all of us. And if you're a guest this evening, please get back to the person who invited you and get started. There's no risk to start. The patches come with a 30-day risk-free guarantee. You heard what to do, and be open to things being better than you even imagined. So thank you everyone for being with us this evening, and we will say good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye all.